On that note, moving on to now celebrate the best global tech-driven ad tech company, and the award goes to. All kudos for Whisper World. Can we please request Nidhi Kekre, the Chief Strategy Officer, to please join us. Whisper World India. Can we have you on the stage? Redefining advertising through in-content advertising. Wow, I love that smile sitting on your face. Keep it there always. That sense of pride that's lingering on the face, I think, lovely. Launched in India 2019. Cutting edge technology, precise targeting, Whisper World empower brands to stay relevant, visible and impactful across India's diverse TV landscape. Congratulations and thank you. Well, they say that humans experience 27 different kinds of emotions, ladies and gentlemen, and any one such emotion can make or mar an industry. So Whisper World, I believe that you take care of all those emotions as you do just the right thing.
Good evening, everyone. We have Mrs. Nidhi Kekre, Chief Strategy Officer, Whisper World, with us tonight. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us at the
Pleasure.
Outlook Business Spotlight Enterprise and Leadership Awards. I would first like to congratulate you for winning the title of Best Global Tech-Driven Ad Tech Company.
Thank you so much.
Once we begin with the interview, before that, I would like you to introduce your.
My name is Nidhi Kekre. I work with Whisper World as the Chief Strategy Officer. I've been working for 25 odd years, been in the game of strategy the longest. Whisper World actually is a MarTech player. We operate out of about 8 countries now. And we do a lot of work in content advertising, plus we do mixed reality production. So we've done some great work. We do a lot of work for brands like LVMH, etc. On a personal note, I have 1 dog, 2 kids, and 1 husband in order of preference. But yeah, that's my life.
That was a pretty good interview, I must say. So I begin with my set of questions.
Sure.
The first question goes like, Whisper World is known for making advertising unskippable yet seamless. How are you using technology to change the way brands connect with consumers?
We went back to a philosophy which is called KISS. I learned it in my MBA college. It's called Keep It Simple, Stupid. So what we've done is we've used technology to actually harness the power of general entertainment content. So, you see these primetime soap operas, and we've used a very simple shot that was existing in all of these, which is called a transition shot, which means, when you cut from scene A to scene B, they generally show a road, people, cars going by, etc. I'm sure you've seen this. We've used that sequence to actually put advertising in it using technology. So the beauty is that it's not produced like that, but we can actually just in a matter of about 5 days, from a brand reaching out to us to actually executing it on the show, we can do it using technology. So what we've done is we put inserts inside of a content where you have 100% consumer attention. It's done using technology. It's fast, it's rapid, it's seamless, and it's very, very simple.
Oh, wow, that's very interesting. Coming to my next question. Advertisers are struggling with ad fatigue, but what makes in-content advertising a more effective solution for brand visibility compared to traditional ad formats, particularly in today's fragmented media landscape?
I wouldn't say that we compete with TV because we are on TV, we do anything different than TV or we are competing with TV. Actually, we are a very synergistic tool. See, please understand that to be able to emotionally connect with something, you need a story. You're able to connect with someone who, if I tell you my life story, you connect with me. Similar is the case with a brand. So you need a story, you need a sound, you need song, you need a jingle, and that's what builds equity for a brand. And I think long-term equity, which is top of mind, which builds top of mind recall, which means when you're in a supermarket, this brand by heart. Yeah. That's your first choice. It's something that's done using the very traditional TV advertising. But what also happens is because there's so much pressure, and of course there is this entire universe, which is a fragmented universe where from a 30-second ad, you remember those longer jingle ads, to having these smaller 6-second or 7-seconders on YouTube. So there has been a transformation, and the consumer is now used to seeing 2 formats. So what we've done is We've taken the power of TV, but we built 7 and 8 second impressions inside of TV to convey absolute functional messaging, because it's fragmented not only as a media but as brands as well. You know, there's so many brands in the same place. You need to be able to differentiate, and which means you need to be able to build a very strong message which stays with them, a functional message, and we specialize in that. So we are very complementary in nature. One tool is TVC is to build equity, and we are there to build your overall, you know, functional relatability.
Right, right. These new things are coming up, and keeping pace with them is very important these days.
Yeah, it's important, and you know, the beauty is that Indian diaspora is still watching television.
Yes.
And nowhere in the world, I mean, at least in Asian countries, be it Indonesia, be it Philippines, people are still watching television. So, you know, you can't just say that it's not. Of course, it's a medium which is maybe evolving as we go along, because, you know, their content is also changing. But besides that, it's a great way to collaborate, and we are bringing together everything in one place.
True, true. Coming to the third question, you operate across Asia, Africa, and Middle East and beyond. What have been your key takeaways from these markets, and how do you utilize it to serve your clients in India?
See, I'll tell you very honestly, every market is starkly different.
Yes.
Their product is different, their media landscape is different. Simple things like, you know, today we have something called as an MRP. When we go to the market, we buy a product, there's an MRP, right?
MRP.
In Indonesia, there's no MRP. It's an open playing field. So what happens is the market is very different. The way, you know, brands play out is very different. What doesn't change across border is the way consumers fall in love and stay with a brand, and the way you can influence their minds. That doesn't change.
Right.
So the learning that happens is we learn cultural nuances, we deploy cultural nuances in each country, but we bring back learnings in terms of saying, okay, in a contextual, non-contextual, product placement, non-product placement, but every market is starkly different.
Yeah, there's stark differentiation in various things. It's not just one thing.
Yeah.
Great. In content advertising is still evolving. How do you ensure brand safety, viewer engagement, and measurable impact while integrating into entertainment content?
Okay. Brand safety is actually something which is important, close to our hearts. So we're very conscious. See, first of all, what happens is the moment you pull it out of a scene, you make it brand safe any which ways, right? Unless and until it's a very toxic program, because it's not being played out in a scene, right? It's just on a road, it's a transition scene. But we still very consciously stay out of certain programs. We are very conscious of where we put ourselves in. And we typically are, you know, we're tied very closely to traditional TV advertising. And TV advertising traditionally is very planned by the marketers, knowing what brand safety protocols, etc. need to be followed. So that means we've been able to manage. So that's part A from a brand safety perspective. I think the second thing that you asked me for research. So we have put research, research is our backbone, by the way, because, you know, we don't want consumers to have a fatigue. We want consumers to retain. We want them to remember. And it does a very specific task. We deliver news, right? So we deliver one message, one piece of news about the brand consistently. And we want to see how fast we do it, how soon we do it, and how do we, how soon do we build it up? Because that's the most important thing when you're in the market. So overall, generally, I feel that research is a very strong component. We swear by research. I don't think we do any project which is not tested, where we've not done research. Yeah, we're disproportionately in love. We're in a committed relationship with research, if I can say.
That's a need of the hour, I think. I mean, if
It's a
you're
need of
good
the hour.
at research, I mean, that makes the path easier for you.
Easier. It makes it easier for us. It makes it easier for the marketers as well to understand, because their consumer is just changing very rapidly at this point in time.
Right. With all the competitors in the market, if we are having a good hold onto this research part, I think we are already winning the game, right?
Yes. Oh, yes, we're trying to.
So it was lovely having these thoughts from you and learning from you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's
for
all
joining us at the
mine.
award.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much for having me.